All right, everybody. It's that time. It's time to talk about Manjaro. Oh boy, where do I even begin with this? This is going to be a very politically divided uh, episode. And by politically, I don't mean like actual politics, but just like there's one camp who really enjoys it, and another camp thinks they can go fuck themselves. So, oh no, I said the fuck word 7 seconds in. There is my monetization. Ugh. Manjaro is known for basically being a distribution of Arch Linux that's colloquially referred to as Arch with an installer. It's colloquially referred to as Arch but lazy, Arch but bad. Typically, nobody really refers to Manjaro as like an easy way to get into Arch Linux. I seem to think it's a good, easy way to get into Arch Linux, but I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. And the company is also well known for a lot of its controversies. It's a whole thing, so I'm sure we're going to be touching on a little bit of everything in this video. For this one, what I did was, because I've messed with GNOME on Ubuntu, we took a look at Cinnamon. We're going to try Plasma. So KDE Plasma is typically what I daily. It's just, I kind of like it. It's nice. I do now actually really like GNOME after my experience with Ubuntu. I might flip between the two. Don't know. Might give Cinnamon more tries. Don't know. Might give Main another try. Don't know. Might give XFCE a try. I like all of them. Whatever. Sue me. But for this one, we're gonna do Plasma. One of the big complaints that I have right off the bat, the thing that I don't really like is the last time. I'm really upset now that I don't have the old homepage, because there used to be like an old landing. Oh, here we go. That's more what I'm used to seeing. Because they used to push this minis forum PC a lot. So I always kind of got the vibe going to their website that the goal wasn't to put you in the OS. The goal was to put you into merchandise. And unfortunately, given what we just experienced, that still seems to be the case, because now they apparently have a laptop that is second to none and true innovator in the realm of privacy and performance. It is an ideal. Okay, I need to see how shit this laptop is. I can't wait for it to have like an i3 in it. 1,000 units available. Okay, so I picked a good time for this. So this is super customizable. They're doing a very special run. Do whatever. Okay. So we've got a Core i3. I fucking called that. A 1315U. Jesus Christ. But we can go all the way up to a 6800H. So that's kind of nice. Or a 13900H, which is also kind of nice. But the price increases are just, ugh. Like, we're already at $2,000 and we're at a bare basic 16 gig. Oh boy, this is going to get expensive real quick. So because I have the cheap processor, it's straight up, okay. So let's just go ahead and fully spec this thing. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to replace my $5,000 MacBook. Let's go. Let's see. Oh, yo, they force you to have 64 gigs if you pick. Oh, we're actually on a different website. So this Starfighter isn't actually a Manjaro computer. Like, it's not made by Manjaro. Or okay, hang on. What's the relationship here? It looks like there might be multiple people who are just Linux adjacent with this name, or it's like all the same guy, or just Google sucks. That's also an equal thing. Well, the good news is that it didn't immediately come up that like he was like on the board of directors for Manjaro or, you know, Elementary OS or anything like that. So I'll cut all of them some slack. However, they do kind of have a reputation for being very knee-jerky and doing kind of weird things. So like they announced, for example, let me click download here and you'll see it right away. Oh, ARM for phone, tablets, and laptops, more common on embedded devices. That's weird. Let's go ahead and click on that. They're not showing it here. Interesting. Wondering if that's because of the pushback or what. I didn't actually know that Manjaro did ARM versions until it came out that they released a version for the MacBook, the M1 series of chips, but didn't talk to the team at all and just pushed out a build that was just horribly broken and was ignoring the Asahi Linux team whenever they were like, hey, you need to ship with this kernel. Hey, you need to blah, 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 because the kernel that you shipped with is just broken. And they just didn't care. And they were just ignoring them and doing their own thing. So there's weird stuff like that. There is a fun website that's like, hang on. So then there's this fun website here. It has been 164 days, 23 hours, 10 minutes, and 3 seconds since Manjaro last fucked up. That was some nice clipping. I hope that clipping stays in the recording. 2022 1104. They forgot to renew their archived forums SSL server. Well, that's not that bad. There's a lot of interesting things that happened with this company, and you can go through and you can read a lot of it. Like Manjaro let their ships expire twice, 3 times, apparently 4 times, 5, blah blah blah. People complain about stability problems. There's also the big issue with the fact that Manjaro just fucking broke the AUR for like a long time, like way longer than reasonable, because they have a package manager that every time it queried the AUR, it was like searching, like every time you type a letter, it would search the entire AUR, and it just brought the entire performance down of the platform for everybody that wasn't even people that weren't on Manjaro. So just things like that, where they're just kind of like assholes at times, but like they're not like malicious assholes. They just kind of suck. You know, and there's a lot of talk about it. A lot of people say Manjaro is bad. I'm using it for a year and a half, blah blah blah. Lots of like, okay, here we go. Reasons why I don't use Manjaro. This will be good. I don't hate Manjaro. There's some reasons should we consider shifting to a different distro. However, I still believe Manjaro is a good starting point for beginners who want to explore an arch-based crossed out like distro. That's fair. That's a completely reasonable point of view. That's the point of view that I hold. So, and then he just kind of. There's a lot of legitimate, like all of these complaints. This is, yeah, see, I expected a large traffic volume to the AUR. Like is it still going on? No. No, this is still an ongoing thing? No fucking way. There's no way. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. Anyway, it's a very interesting read. Read into it. You'll find a lot of interesting stuff. I don't really want to get into that in this video. I just want to make you aware that there is a lot of controversy with this operating system. I think it makes it fun, because I like watching people just bitch at each other, and I just got popcorn on the side. But yeah, there's some legitimate reasons to not use Manjaro. There are some legitimate reasons to use Manjaro. Fucking do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, play with it, have fun. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I can't wait for this entire comment section to just be nothing but, oh my god, James used Manjaro daily for a little bit. It's gonna be great. Anyway, so here's Manjaro. We're gonna go ahead and install this. I don't know why we're only in 640 by 480. I think because I told it to not do the, I think I accidentally told it to do the open source drivers, so that's okay. So, we are definitely on a new build of Manjaro. It's been a long time. I think the last one that I used was Kronos. Or I think I used the one, so I mainly used the one before Kronos, and then like right as I was switching away, Kronos came out. Either way. Anyway, so this is going to be a pretty, it looks like they've changed some things on the installer, but it's still going to be a pretty familiar installer. Okay, so, right, we just have the one, so no swap. Why would I not set up swap space? That just seems awful. Okay. You do have the same encrypt system checkbox, except this just gives you passwords and then you just enter it. There doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of choice there. That is a work alarm. Let me see what's going on with that. That's important. The options are, you know, it's a pretty standard installation. We can choose the file type here. Nothing too fancy, nothing too awful. If I had to kind of just peg where I like this one, it's kind of right in the middle compared to some of the others that we've used. I think the Linux Mint installation was more friendly, like it's a little bit less like kind of in your face. And this one's kind of throwing a lot of jargon at you, but it is fairly straightforward and like it kind of makes sense. Like you can see we are a GPT partition drive. Here's where I go to change my stuff. Here are my options. I click it. There is a drop down for some minor options. There is a, like, it's nice. It's a nice hybrid between the two. And then that's it. That's really all we get. We don't really need a whole lot, to be honest, but you know, it's kind of nice. It's simple, straightforward, whatever, it works. This animation's all new. Okay. During the installation, this slideshow will provide a quick introduction. All right, well, it better be quick. Okay, here we go. That was pretty easy. That didn't take too terribly long. I gotta figure out why it's running. It looks like it's running at 640 or 800 by 600. 1280 by 800. Okay. Okay, that's a good 200% scale you put into place. Changes will come into effect after the system is restarted. Why? Why though? Urgh. Okay, we'll just go ahead and do this. So, this is somewhat similar to Linux Mint, where it pops up the little thing. This one's nowhere near as useful because it takes you to their wiki, which their wiki's okay, but like you don't really need to use that. Okay, what is this? This is a weird list. Am I setting my default? Oh no, I'm choosing which ones I want to have enabled. Oh, is this Pamac or is this? I don't know. I've never actually used Pamac. Welcome screen. Okay, never mind. So this is not Pamac. It might be interfacing with Pamac. I don't know. It might just be a list. Who knows? Some interesting stuff here right away. Flowblade. That one's new. Telegram client. That's useful. Slack web. WhatsApp web. Oh yeah, definitely trust those. Password managers. Okay. KeyPass, Bitwarden, cool. Yeah, this is all pretty, nothing too fancy. I guess this is kind of just like if you want to install the basics. We got better ways to do things. So, here's what we're gonna do. Because the secret sauce that makes Manjaro so nice to use is the AUR, right? Now, last time I said that I was gonna show you all some tricks. And previously, like, we're trying our best to not dive into the command line. We're only trying to dive into the command line when we absolutely have to. This time around, I might actually dive into the command line because there is a utility that I can show you how to use that is super easy and will make your life, like, amazingly better. But for the time being, we're gonna look at, actually, before we go into the store, before we go to Pamac, let's take a look at all the included stuff and just kind of go down the list and, like, talk about Plasma and all that stuff. The interface is a little bit different than other distros, Plasma specifically. It's a lot more kind of, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's more like Android, where like during the ice cream, like Android 4.0 days, where everything was holographic and like it's kind of going for like that kind of vibe. A lot of the icons you might see might be the same. A lot of the window spacings and like how they do margins and such, it's kind of the same. It's a little bit more touch friendly because of that. So you see you've got bigger buttons here. So like if whenever I hit restart and like it pops up the menu here, like this is a lot more touchscreen friendly. So there's some thoughtful changes there that are in Plasma. For the record, most of these changes, the changes that Manjaro does are mostly themes and like preset configs. So anything that you're seeing here, if you want to just install Plasma on your existing distro, you can just do that. And it will just work for the most part. You'll just have to spend some time configuring it. Manjaro comes configured out of the box pretty well in my opinion, but I guess what we should do first is take a look at system settings. So right away, quick settings gives you an option for light mode, dark mode, which I like. Also gives you an option for animation speed because a lot of people like to speed things up. So there's no perceived lag. I don't like doing that. I kind of like seeing like weird like floaty things. I don't know, I'm strange. Let's see. So if we go to the appearance tab, so this will give us a bunch of different themes that are available. So breath is the default theme, but we can kind of change it. So breeze I believe is more macOS-y. So we'll just say desktop and window layout. So we're gonna get the whole theme replaced. It's not super macOS-y, but it is a little bit more macOS-y. See the bar is a little bit bigger. Things have changed, positioned slightly. This still seems to be the same. Let me open a random program. Let's open Firefox. The icons are still the same, you know, everything like that. But it's a little bit more rounded corners, a little bit more margins at the top, you know, little things like that. And then we've got, I think I typically was using Breeze Dark, but then they also come with Oxygen, which I have not messed with. Apparently like a global reskin, it's not really changing much. Like I'm expecting it to change a lot more. I'm wondering if there's, like, do I need to reboot between each of these changes? Choose what to apply. Yeah, like everything. So icons, plasma style, window decoration. So some of the stuff is different. Okay, so so the buttons are a little different actually. Yeah, now that I'm noticing. The status bar down here is the same. That didn't change, so that's weird. I'm not sure what's going on there, but anyway, not super important. Oh, is this a preview picture? Oh, this is a preview picture. Okay, so if that's the case, I can't see a preview of the theme that I currently have applied. That's a little weird. So I guess I will just apply this other theme and then, no, there's just no preview of Oxygen specifically. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, I don't have anything for that. Let's grab some more themes. Let's see. It's not gonna, you're not gonna get like a custom rice by like downloading these. Like I guarantee. Well, they're literally KDE Monterey, so sure, it's horribly stretched. This can only be fantastic. I'm so ready for this. Well, no, that's just Windows 10, but with like weird icon packs. I don't like that. That's gross. Can we not just do, hey, make it look like Mac OS? Are there really no other themes? What the fuck? Like they're literally all just, they're either ports of other Linux like things, like, or they're just Mac OS. Oh, here we go. This is a fun one. No, bring me back. I need Cartman theme. Give me the Cartman theme. Cartman Studio failed as the download package. Oh, the Cartman Studio thing is fucked up. That's upsetting. That was the one theme that I wanted. I need Windows XP. Windows XP. I could probably do a custom network error 0. Server stopped accepting new streams before the stream is established. Okay, that's a good sign. Oh, it's just broken now? Okay, well, themes are just broken now. That's unfortunate. No Windows XP for me. Well, I did download this one, so... Oh, here we go. This one looks pretty... Oh, this looks pretty good. Let's go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, this is great. Oh, why is it not? Why is it not customizing my... Huh. It's really weird that it's not... Like, clearly this is customized in this little preview picture, but I can't see it that well. So, I don't know. I like this, though. It's, like, chunky and, like, old. Ah, I love it. It's so cool. I think some things are just broken with like the taskbar here. Like it's just not changing. So that's fine, I guess. That's unfortunately the side effect of having a rolling release distro. Because it is a rolling release, there is no... The concept of rolling release is just that way you're just constantly on the bleeding edge. So that means that every time there is any code pushed whatsoever, you get that update and you install it and you just start running it. It's good for some things like graphics drivers. You can typically get improvements right as they're mainlined into Mesa, and you can, if you're playing games on Linux, a lot of times you can get some really good fixes, like when Elden Ring first came out, it kind of ran like crap on Proton originally. Then a Mesa update came out and it like tripled the performance. So like you can get things like that. It's like, okay, that's pretty cool. But then you get things like where the sidebar just doesn't work. I'm wondering if these themes are like designed for like an older version and like this newer version just breaks something, because like the Windows like Arc like seem to be working fine. Like if I open settings, it's gonna have the new theme. Yeah, it has a new theme. So maybe I just need to log out and log back in. I don't know. We're gonna keep this theme because it's awful and I love every second of it. This is fantastic. Send user feedback. Why is this a slider? Basic, and usage. Detailed and basic usage. Okay. Why is this a slider? That's weird. Behavior, visual behavior, display information. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can like really dial into and tweak. You can do a lot of the stuff with other WDMs, with other display managers, but like this OS really exposes a lot of it in a very easy to get to way. Or rather, not this OS, but KDE Plasma does. Trigger actions by swiping in from specific parts if you have a touchscreen. Again, there's a lot of just little stuff that you can dial into. I could literally make an entire hour-long video just going through what the desktop manager lets you do. Yeah, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time looking through the rest of this, just because the personalization and everything's really crazy. However, what I will look at, the settings menu here is pretty neatly laid out, I feel. You just kind of go down a line and you click it, and then it gives you the thing, and then if you want more detail, you click the arrow, and then it breaks it out into a sub-menu. That's pretty straightforward. That's pretty, like, you might have to hunt for some stuff, but it's pretty well broken down. Yeah, like it's kind of like nested menus, and this is a good way to get a very high information density and get a whole lot of crap. Like if you just want to be able to tweak a whole bunch of things, this is a great way to do it. It's probably a little intimidating for beginners. I would like to see an option that's switch to icon view. Okay, that's a little bit nicer. That doesn't really solve the issue though. That just kind of just changes how it looks. That doesn't really fix the information overload kind of thing. Like you don't really know what you're looking for. I would prefer there just to be like a basic mode, like have this be the advanced mode, and then have a basic mode, which is a little bit more like Linux Mint, where it's just like, hey, here's an icon, here's the 10 things that it does, and blah, blah, blah. Cut out like a lot of the other stuff, or organize it a little bit better. I don't know. Like, do we really need a dedicated menu option for user feedback? I will never get mad at an operating system for giving user choice. That's the best thing possible that they can do. I just wish it was a tiny bit better organized. I'm gonna stop now. Let's go look at some other stuff. Let's go to all applications. There we go. What is this? Failed to connect to Avahi server daemon not running. I actually don't know what Avahi is. I'll have to look that up. Dolphin is the file manager for KDE. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, this theme looks bad. Sorry guys. As much as I'd love having this meme theme, I need to like actually be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, I can see again. Hallelujah. So this is Dolphin. Was Cinnamon using Dolphin as its file browser? No, it wasn't. It was something similar though, wasn't it? I don't really remember, to be honest. It's pretty straightforward. You've got your pin stuff. It's a file browser. You can go to your network devices. They'll show up here. Go to network. You can share folders SMB. It'll find whatever SMB is on your network. It's basic. It works. There's a lot more pre-installed stuff. Like there's a separate application just for scanning. They also seem to have the same application in multiple spots, which can be a little weird. Let's check out the music player, Eliza. So this comes with a built-in music player, and then this also comes with VLC. This is a complicated user interface. What is this? So we've got like our right-hand side. So at the top is the playhead with a full screen view of album art for some reason, and then you have an always-on play. I guess I can turn off the playlist. And then can I minimize that? No, I can just make it full screen though. That's cool. So I can't really, can I drag this? No, that's just always there at the top. That's a weird usage of your space. I don't know if I like that at the top. Maybe at the bottom, in using that much space, it'd be a lot easier to kind of ignore. But like right up there at the top, that's a weird UI decision. I don't think I like that. I don't know why does this come with a video capture program? That's bizarre. That's a very strange thing to include. Well, I guess if they're trying to go after the whole, hey, gamers market, sure. That's a weird addition. Comes with OnlyOffice. Interesting choice to do OnlyOffice instead of LibreOffice. So there's some weird stuff here, like HTOP. That's obviously a terminal program. But then it's got like actual programs here too. Oh, this comes with time shift, so that's nice. There's the drop-down terminal, which is orgasmic. It's really good. Because like I used to have that bound to, I think it was shift and tilde, or shift and space and tilde, or something like that. So you can just, pull down the oh yeah, there it is. It's shift and tilde by default. So I can just do that, and then HTOP, there you go. So it's really cool. It's really useful. Great for productivity. It's super strange that they're including a lot more of like basic utility stuff that like the other distros had baked into the shell. So like with Arc, for example, it's got its own thing here, but like that's also built into the interface where you just right click on the file and just extract it. So it's kind of weird. It feels like they might be trying to like pad their installed apps here a little bit. I don't know how to explain it. Like software token and software token small. Like what? Missing token. Please use S token import to add a new seed. What's small? Well, if I have to use a command line tool to set this up, what's the point of having two icons? At that point, just give me a different command to run. That's weird. Okay, find. So this is literally just a GUI for find, I bet. Okay, I don't know why that's not built into Dolphin, but whatever. That's more of a Plasma thing than a Manjaro thing. I don't know. Emoji selector, very important. We gotta make sure that we oh, it copies it to the clipboard. It doesn't inject it. Well, that's a pain in the butt. Okay, there we go. I now no longer have music. I just have cat. So here's the help button. So this is just an actual program that you run. There's no like other stuff over here. That's also weird UI. There's just some weird UI. There's just some weird UI. Fundamentals, Plasma menu. See, a lot of this is more focused on Plasma, I'm finding. Application manuals. Okay, so this also breaks it down into the same kind of categories. That's useful, especially if you're, you think about mom. Well, maybe not mom. Maybe this one's more useful for dad. He's got to have the manual. Out of the box, this is a lot more confusing than I expected it to be. Again, I don't really use the interface, so like I that's really the first time I poked around in settings. Like the most I've done in settings is mess with display options because that's the only place you can really do it. I guess you could do weird things, and like if you're using an X window, there's manager tools for that, but that's I'm not doing that. Like give me 3 buttons to click. It is a lot more complicated than I really expected playing with this. So I guess the beauty of using something like this comes from the power of the fact that it's Arch-based, right? So now we are going to experience the joy that is Pamac or Pamac. I have no idea how you pronounce this. And we're just going to kind of see how this works. So I actually kind of feel really bad for doing this because I know that I'm just actively screwing over the AUR, especially considering that they still have problems with that. I like that it just lets me uninstall. Can I just uninstall Firefox? Apply. Yeah, just yeet it. I don't need it anymore. And I just no longer have a web browser. Okay, that's That's kind of nice. I can just do that. So I wonder what are these flat packs? Are these actually going off? Does it tell me validated by signature? No, this is actually installing it. Okay, cool. So that's nice. I'm imagining that it would give you an option though. So like, I bet you, like RetroArch's probably a good example. There's definitely a flat pack available for RetroArch, but does this actually do that, or is no, it's actually installing it. So this is straight up just going to the AUR, and it is just straight up installing the software mode. What the fuck does, oh, is that software rendering? I don't understand. Why does checking that remove more detail and like change the UI, but show the same stuff? That's weird. What the fuck does that do? Hang on, I actually have to look that up. Like, what does that even mean? Okay, so from doing some research, this seems to be more like, so the idea is that if you have this turned off, this is like the actual packages. So like you can install like lower level packages, whereas this is, okay, only install graphical programs, like actual like quote unquote software. That's a horrifically misleading name. That needs to be basic mode, advanced mode, or also include packages with something like that. Like that's a stupid name. That's actually bad. Oh boy, that's like actually, like, I don't understand. Like why did they think that was a good idea? Okay, so we have to come in here and then we have to enable Flatpak support, and then we can enable automatic checking for updates. That UI is also a little weird. There's really not that much polish in this. Like I remember there being. Yeah, it seems like it's really funny, like the cycle that I went through when using Linux distros, because I started off Ubuntu like way back in the day, like 1604, or probably would have been like 12. Let's be real. And it was like, yeah, I really don't like GNOME. It's kind of slow and just don't look that great. And then eventually finding Linux Mint, and then eventually finding Manjaro, and then eventually finding Ubuntu again. Just kind of seeing everything grow and evolve, and then now we're back to this, and it feels like this is going backwards. Ah, boy. Okay, well, we enabled Flatpak support now. So, wait a minute. Is that what software mode is? Is this forum post just a bunch of... No, we still enable AUR support? What the fuck? I'm so confused. So I can enable Flatpak support, and it's a separate toggle from software mode, which makes sense. But if I enable software mode, it disables AUR support? I'm so confused as to what is happening right now. This UI is awful. I especially like that they have the enable downgrade option, because you can, like, if something is just flat out broken, you can just downgrade and then blacklist the update. So that's nice. I don't understand why the settings change. So does me turning on software mode disable the AUR? So, but why can I have Flatpaks in software mode, but I can't have the AUR in software mode? All right, let's just grab some stuff and see what happens. So there is a lot more stuff here, and it's interesting because I'd like to know how much of this is AUR and how much of this is Flatpaks. Like, there doesn't really seem to be a graphical. Why did this one go full screen, and whereas the other ones were going on the side? Is it because I hid the side menu? So if I bring the side menu back out, then it does that. Otherwise, it goes full screen. That's also weird UI. I don't like that. All right, let's check out Kodi. So this would obviously be... You've got to have a choice of like what you're installing here, right? Like, there's no way that you don't. No, this is just straight up installing the files too. So what happens if I enable software mode here? Did the version number change? No. I straight up, I don't understand. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I like that it lets you queue up. Sure, I don't know if we're using Wayland by default at this point or not, but we'll see. Total download size 1.6 gigabytes? Why do I need to download Pipewire? Well, I guess because it does video. Oh, and it's also upgrading just all of the other repositories while it's doing it. Okay, that's bad UI. That's horrific UI, because that implies that this one package will be 1.6 gigs. Oh my god, this is an awful user experience. No fucking wonder people don't like using Manjaro as their first experience. This is horrendous. All right, we're done with this. I'm not even gonna justify Manjaro looking through the store. It has screwed itself. No, we're not doing this. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the right way to use Manjaro, and it is by using the AUR. So here's how this works. So your package manager is Pacman, right? So Pacman-V, that's a C, James. Pacman-V, whatever. So this is your APT, this is your yum, so on and so forth. Pacman works for some things, so like I can do Pacman-SYU for like a full system upgrade, need to be root, whatever. What's a good one? -S Discord? Okay, so I found Discord. Cool. You can just right away install that. So we'll go ahead and install that. Although I'm pretty sure those 3 packages, these packages have to be upgraded first. Okay, so we'll let these 3 packages upgrade, and then it's going to tell me that I can't find Discord. I know that's going to happen. Oh, okay, I found Discord. Cool. All right, so we can install Discord, right? Makes sense. So Pacman-S Steam. Does that install? That installs. Let's see. What else can I install? Can I install Audacity? Yes, I can install Audacity. Cool. Can I install Slack? Can't install Slack. Okay, so that's a good place to start. Can I install Telegram? Cannot install Telegram. Okay. Can I install Chrome? Oh, it'd be Chromium, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be Chromium. Okay. So there is some stuff in here that you can install, and it's really nice and it's really easy. You don't really have to do a whole lot of searching. Pacman just kind of finds a lot of the stuff in the repositories and you're good to go. Here comes the fun part. Because, so like, let's say that I want to install the new Mesa drivers. So I do Pacman-S Mesa, all right? It actually found them. Okay, that's cool. So we're finding a lot of stuff. It's particular versions. Everything's just kind of in the repositories and everything. It just kind of works like a normal package manager, right? There does seem to be a lot more extra packages than I remember there being, which is a good thing. That's a great thing for beginners. However, that's not the real power of Arch. What the real power of Arch is Yay. Yay is fantastic. Can I even install it? I wonder if I can install it now from Pacman. Ah, you can. Okay, cool. I remember having to like download from Git or something. So, okay, so I had to cut out just a tiny little bit there. I don't know where this is going to cut in here. So, so basically what you want to do is you want to do Yay. So -S is the same thing as Pacman, where it's basically just install. And then if you include a smaller s, what that will do is that will force a search on the AUR. So the way that Yay normally works is that it tries to install a package. If it doesn't find it in the repos, it will then search the AUR, and it will give you all of the options that are available on the AUR for you to choose to install. So that can be useful for certain things. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know which, but it seems like a lot of the stuff that I used to have to install from the AUR is now actually just included by default in repos. So that's a little bit nicer. That's a little bit more frustrating too, because there's some things that were just easier to install with Yay. And now I'm getting like the repo version. I'd rather get the AUR version. So to do that, you just do big S, little s. So Yay, SS, Discord. So now here's where things get cool. So these are all of the entries for Discord that are on the AUR. So I can just pick one of these that I want to install and get the specific version that I actually want. So this just shows everything that has to do with Someone Hack, you work around Push to Talk and Discord and other apps in Wayland. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. It's a tool that allows uploading large files to Discord. So you can find a whole bunch of crazy fucking shit out there. And like, you can just install it. And like, this takes care of all of the craziness of installing anything from the AUR. So if I want to install the Bleeding Edge Mesa drivers, so I've got a whole bunch here. So we can see multi-lib, community, extra. So that'll be the repo that I was grabbing from. But if I did Yay -S Mesa Git, that will grab a UR explicit. So now what this is going to do, is it's going to ask me, because it's going to actually download from the Git repository, and it's going to ask if I want to build the project. So it's going to take care of everything, do build scripts. It's really fucking cool. So package to clean build, we're going to clean build all. So we're going to hit A. Diffs to show. Not really interested in seeing a diff. If you don't know, diffs are basically just what has changed in code between one file and the next, so you can kind of see the differences between the two versions. Because you're doing upgrades from Git, you can actually download the actual source code and review the actual changes from version to version if you want to. I typically won't do this. So I just say none, but there are a few projects where it might be fun to check and see what's in the new update. But then it will just get cloned directly into the repo. It will run all the build scripts, and it takes care of everything for you. And it's so fucking cool. The AUR is an absolutely amazing, powerful tool that I wish honestly, I wish I had a way to use the AUR in other distros. And this single piece of software is enough to make me miss running on an Arch-based system. It's enough to make me consider that maybe I'll do an Arch bring-up stream and kind of build my own version of Arch, which I've tried to do before but didn't really get too far into it because that was still my early Linux days. So I was like, whatever. I was an idiot kid. But like, man, the AUR, it is so nice. And like, also as a side note, the Arch Wiki, these two resources are like two of the greatest Linux resources you'll ever have. It's resources like this that make me want to use Manjaro, because I can just download an ISO, I can install it, and then I can get a working Arch installation fairly painlessly, and then I can go to town with Yay and the Arch Wiki and just go fucking nuts and just install all kinds of weird shit, and it's great. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, there is the real concern of it being a bleeding edge distro, because it's rolling release, that things will break. Like, you absolutely will do a Pacman SYU to update your system, and then you just don't boot. Like that straight up is the thing that happens. Because you might just happen to, oh no, there was a bug that was live for like 3 hours, and you install it and it's just broken, and then oh no, they fixed it right away, but like in that 3 hours you had the broken version, and then your system just doesn't boot anymore. It's like shit like that happens on a rolling release distro. So for that particular reason alone, I cannot recommend this for beginners. However, I do have to say that looking at the rest of this, I at least wouldn't even recommend the KDE Plasma version for most normal people, because like there's just like a lot of extra information, and like it's weirdly broken in some ways. Pamac is a garbage program, which I think Manjaro should be ashamed of themselves for making. Horrific UI, like I don't even understand. And all that being said, it is still a rolling release distribution. Like, there's just so much going against it. Now, if you're the techie type who really likes diving in, and you do have some Linux experience and you want to like get your hands dirty, bro, Manjaro is fantastic because it is a great landing place for Linux, and specifically Arch Linux, and you can really kind of dive in and get to experience the beauty of the AUR. All of this information about how to use it, like what everything is, specific commands to enable specific like units, suspend the system, this tells you how to write unit files. Like I will straight up use this wiki as my primary resource whenever I'm trying to learn new things about Linux. Like, even though I'm like using RHEL based distros, or I'm using Debian based, it doesn't matter. This information is still accurate. Like, you may not be able to use specific implementations. This command, if you're using Arch, or if you're using whatever, it's the same command, and it's the same like how the program is designed to work. It's honestly, this is orgasmic. This is fantastic. This is not. A lot of that might just be me getting used to using the interface a little bit more, and using Ubuntu's GUI a little bit more. Because like when I was running Manjaro, again, I just do everything in the command line, so I don't really care. So I can pull up console and customize it, and I'll do all of my work here. Like, if I want to mount a drive, I'll add the drive into my FS tab from Nano, and then I'll exit, and then I'll mount dev SDP to home JRulo balls, like whatever. Like, it just works. I feel like I'm kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent here. Basically, my personal feelings are I couldn't even stomach like looking around the store for like weird shit, because the store just made no fucking sense whatsoever. And that is one that I can blame on Manjaro and not KDE Plasma. Moral of the story, I might actually consider checking out a different distro. or I'm sorry, a different flavor of Manjaro, maybe check out one with cinnamon installed. That would probably be a whole lot better. Check out one that has gnome installed. Yeah, that'll probably be way better. Customize if you like to play around. Customize plasma. Plasma's nice. All right, well, I'm gonna go before this just turns into more of a rant about how upset I am over the current state of Manjaro. Verdict: I'm gonna put this one below Ubuntu. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one below Ubuntu. This one is now officially. Well, it's hard. It's hard to put an overall tier on it because if I'm looking at this as the absolute beginner, stay away. Stay horrifically away from this. But if you are somewhat familiar with Linux, this is probably the best place for you to start to actually start learning how Linux works on a fundamental core level. So, pick your poison. Whatever. If we're talking about mom and dad, no, stay away. But me a few years ago learning how all this shit works, absolutely, it was perfect. I'm gonna go now before this gives me an aneurysm.